Good to go, Emo. Hello and welcome back to season 4 of the Let's Face It podcast. Today, thanks very much for that, Eamon, by the way. Eamon is becoming a pro at... What's the term for that, Sean? Eamon has become...
He's my assistant director.
Oh, he's your assistant director? I don't know how Eamon would feel about that, him being the chairman, but anyway. But thank you. It's good to have you here today, Eamon. Yeah, and thank you all for tuning in this week. Today we're joined by Eoghan Mccabe. Eoghan, Antrim County footballer, online performance, lifestyle coach, massive following, massive respect in that industry. Not that I know anything about it, but I should get to know more about it because I'm supposed to be a county player too. But anyway. And someone who I've known for from we were kids, like I'm only a couple of years older than you, and yeah, always sort of seen you coming and heard that you were coming. Because I would have been kind of close with teachers in the school like Ian McGordy and stuff, and the successful St. Gauls team, and obviously your mum and stuff like that, and your dad, and always sort of had an idea of who you were and where you were probably going to go and how you carried yourself, and probably, I don't know, it's funny, probably kind of had similar traits to you probably at that age whenever I was in school and stuff, in terms of fitness and really wanting to do well and always being in sort of good shape and stuff. And then of course I went left and you kind of kept going straight, and it's a credit to you because we have a lot of people, especially Mick, who became a good friend of mine, Mick Conlon, and we often talk about, most weeks, about different people just falling in the traps of society and traps of, especially where we're from. And I know you've had I was talking there on a solo podcast about, you know, we were on this journey saying it's a country road and we just don't know, when we turn the bend the country road there could be a flock of sheep and you're going, fuck, it wasn't really planned.
100%.
We kind of all have them obstacles in life, and that's how we react to it and adapt. But today we're going to maybe talk about football and what your social media presence looks like, the negatives of social media, the positives more importantly, and just a wee bit more about your life and what the crack is and how you are. And
no, cheers for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what's the crack anyway?
All good. I suppose a wee bit quieter football ways. We've obviously been out of the championship now. Pretty early finish to the season. Being finished up in August was a bit of a shock and a bit of a change. But busy now with coaching now that teams are coming into the off season. Things are picking up there, like, so coming into a busy couple of months here. So good on that side of things. So.
Let's take it all back to maybe even whenever you were still in school. I'm going to sound like a stalker here, but I'm not a stalker. I kind of just have I'm good at like analysing people a wee bit. But you started off in No Limits Fitness.
Yes. I was fourth or fifth, going into fifth year, I think, or maybe finishing just after Christmas in fourth year, I think I went in. So what's that, 15ish maybe?
So whenever you were 15, and I think that we have a lot of listeners on the podcast who would be in that age demographic of 15 to 20 and sort of like, I don't know what to do and I'm a wee bit lost and I'm a wee bit confused. And you kind of knew, did you know what you wanted to do at that age?
Loosely. So that was the thing, I didn't know. I knew I wanted to do something in sport. I actually remember, I just came into my head the other day when I was thinking when we were here today. I wrote a status or had an Instagram post up or something. It's like, fuck, if only you get paid for playing Gaelic or something, and you commented on there going, that'd be the dream. I was like, great. But I was a good way to go. But so it was like, right, wanted to do something with sport, and I was like, didn't know what it was. And then my mummy was actually training with Dan, who owns No Limits, Dan Mccabe, and then he had said, or actually started training, so I had like a blood condition when I was fourth year and was out of football for like 7 months or whatever, so it was like couldn't do any contact sport, couldn't do any team training or anything, couldn't play. And then my mum was training with him, so he says, sure, bring Eoghan up and he can do something. So I was training there, doing circuit classes or whatever, and then he said to me, he's like, what do you want to do, or do you know what you want to do? I was like, having a clue, something to do with sport, thought I'd be physio or something like that. And he goes, sure, do you want to come up and give me a hand with sessions or whatever, and we can do and see how you find it? I was like, aye, sweet. So was up stand in the corner for most of the first 6 months, just watching him, and then eventually started taking warm-ups, doing my own wee bits and pieces, learning from him, and then that was basically the journey. Like, that was the start of it. And from there, I pretty started taking sessions, started taking my own clients, and just sort of realised, right, that's when I was in school then, I was like, this is what I want to go into, like, and then I went into that rather than going down the uni route or whatever, although did try and go back to uni, but didn't last too long, lasted 3 months, and then just went back to the coaching again. So
why?
Why to go back?
Yeah.
Because
did you feel like you were missing out on something in the social side?
Aye, big time. I suppose in school my whole thing was, right, I want to go S&C route. To do that I needed a sports science degree, probably need a master's to go work with a professional team or whatever. Like, for me that was the standard, was like go and work with a professional team, rugby team, or even be a county S&C coach or whatever. But then I was like, right, I can work with these sort of athletes on my own privately, and saw that route, and I was going, right, so I sort of went down that route, and then went into coaching, and all my mates were in uni at the time. I was working Monday to Saturday, probably maybe going in the morning, going home during the day, back in that evening, up early, bit like up 5 in the morning to go coaching, things like that, and they're maybe coming home from a night out or something, or they're laying in bed down during the day, and I'm going, that looks like good crack, that looks like. So I think it was part of the social life too, wanted to experience that sort of student lifestyle and go and have a bit of crack too. And just when I was there, then I sort of done a bit of it. I was going, right, this isn't for me. I was like, I'd rather, plus then I thought I could probably get further going down my own route and going into coaching myself, rather than maybe trying to get a job out of it and going in and working with a team. I saw the hours that you'd put in working with a team as well. I was going, don't fancy that.
But see, that even that point there, Eoghan, I think that it's really important, because, and we'll talk about it a wee bit more in a bit, about comparing ourselves and not feeling good enough, but see that FOMO world of, like, that fear of missing out, of, you know, I need to go to uni because I need to be in this circle to look like I'm 100%. In this sort of clique, or look cool, or to have on my Instagram bio that I go to uni, I don't know, or Tinder profile or whatever, I don't know, but like it's kind of like a nearly like a validation thing from the external world of
big time.
Us being a part of that. So see you even going in and being like, oh, this isn't for me, like having that awareness and that clarity and that sort of, where do you think that came from? Nearly, I don't want to say maturity, because it probably is maturity,
yeah,
but I don't want to say that then if you're not like that then you're immature, because it's just part of university life and it's part of like society. But yeah, it kind of is. You were kind of above your years before you were. Yeah,
that makes sense. 100%. I think I kind of knew anyway. I think at that time when I went back, you know, I was probably it was like a distraction. I was like running away from like what I was actually doing. I think there was a wee element of not being like 100% satisfied in like what I was doing. But then also didn't want to. I think it was, as you say, that sort of validation and wanting to be sort of in the crowd and wanting to be like accepted or something, or wanting to be seen to be just doing what's not. I think it was kind of what I was. The direction I was going was kind of away from the norm, basically. And then I'm looking around everyone around me my age going, fuck, I'm missing out on this, and that FOMO, as you say. So I think it was kind of, right, I kind of want to try that. And then, but I think because I'd sort of, naturally my friends would be a bit older than me, even being around Dan, older than me, but he would have been showing me, right, go and do this, start reading this, and took a lot of sort of personal development stuff on from there. And then I think I kind of knew myself, like, this isn't really for me, but I was like, I kind of have to test it and see, sort of thing. I think I went into uni knowing that I wasn't going to last the full thing anyway, but it was like, sure, we'll give it a rattle here and see what happens. But
try these things.
Aye.
Which is really interesting. And then you talk about having, before we talk about football, but you mentioned there about Dan and having these older figures in our lives.
Yeah. And
not old, he's not that much older than you, I suppose, but I mean, people who have sort of been there, who have I talk about trailblazers,
yeah,
if you like, and in a way you're a trailblazer for. Now I'm talking about for a lot of people who want to do online S&C and are still footballers, and you're kind of ending that stigma of typical, which we'll talk about as well, like West Belfast, like stay in a corner and say nothing.
Yeah.
So I think we're becoming a wee bit now, not even probably like 1% Americanized in a way where we can't celebrate people, and we're going be authentic and be yourselves without judgment or people 100%. Then trying to put us down or talking behind our back. Probably all still happens, but that probably the loneliest place in the world is whenever you go into that personal development route, which Dan was saying to you about books and being authentic and being your own person. Because you're creating your own
Exactly.
trail, and you're not going with a narrative. And did you find that difficult sometimes?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%. I suppose when you're maybe going down that the traditional route, if you want to call it that, of maybe you go to school, you go to uni, get a job, like it's kind of mapped out for you.
I call it all ducks in a row.
Yeah, 100%. So when maybe you're going on your own, you don't know the answers, or people are going, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, get a real job, or what about your degree? You need to be safe and have a degree, and you're going, like, in yourself, you know, no, I know what I want to do, but in the back of your head, you're going, fuck, maybe they're right, and then, but yeah, I suppose going down that route, it can be lonely at times, because you're kind of going, right, you don't really know too many people initially who are doing the same sort of thing, who you can sort of talk to, but then I suppose the further along you get, there's other people on the same wavelength, and then you connect with them a wee bit more, and it's just like, right, okay, we're in the right place here. I suppose it's environment and stuff too, like, and but it's all part of it, like, 100%.
And what do you say there, just to finish off, like, on the, you said you started that sort of journey of personal development. What did that look like for you as a person? Forget about sport, forget about like you finding out.
Yeah,
maybe a wee bit more about you.
I think it probably came from seeing. I think it all sort of, everything for me kind of relates back to sport somehow. Sport, like, it's like, right, you want to be a better player, so you're looking at, like, right, what am I doing, how am I training, how am I eating, all that, and then you sort of look into it that way. But then it came from a standpoint of, like, right, then you start looking at business, how can you grow a business, what do you need to be doing, what sort of things, and then learning that way. But then even, like, how to be a better athlete, how to be, just reading different books that you would go down the rabbit hole of, like, how to be a better competitor, how to be a better athlete, how to, I don't know, just, I'm trying to think of books off the top of my head, but I'm having them complete mind blanks here. But just essentially, like, the way Dan had always looked at it is, like, if you can improve as a person, become more aware, build, like, whatever skill set you have, like, it's going to translate over into business. And I suppose anything you have in business, you can translate to sport. Anything you have in sport, you can bring into business, you can bring into life. So it was like just trying to become more aware, I suppose, understand yourself a bit more. I suppose always just, for me, a big thing is continuous growth and improvement. That's always something I'll always sort of say in my head, like, whether it's football, whether it's business, whether it's myself, whether it's, like, relationships or whatever. And, like, I'm always trying to grow and be better and just improve. And I think that's the big thing for me, is just having that, whether it's picking something up in a book or in a podcast or something, just always looking to just be a wee bit better across the board. Don't know if that even makes sense.
No, it does, because me and Sean were in here yesterday and we were talking about that, more or less the exact same thing that you just said there, like. And I sort of put it back to him, and I was like, I think the day you think you've made it is the day you're beat. Like, in anything, like, and how many times, let's be honest here, about even for me, whenever I was going through my sort of spiral of destruction, self-destruction maybe, if you want to put it that way, I thought that I was bigger and better and my ego was up here, but I was really here.
Yeah.
So I thought that I didn't need to learn. I thought that you were in Egypt and he was in Egypt and she was in Egypt and I don't have the problem, you have the problem.
Yeah.
And it was like, everyone else hasn't a clue and I know best.
I get you, yeah.
And how wrong was I? Do you know what I mean? So whenever I left that ego and pushed all that aside, and because what is ego? You know what I mean? We use the term in the rehab centre, edging God out. So if you're religious, you can use that. But if you're not, come back to me with something.
I think ego's interesting. I think...
what is ego?
I don't know. I think naturally you think ego, you think something negative. But
so go ahead.
But I think there's more... I think if someone says ego, you think, right, someone who's fucking head, they're up here, they're probably maybe looking down, or I know everything, as you were sort of saying there. But I think you need a bit of ego to back yourself a wee bit and just go, as you were saying about authenticity, like, I think that can maybe get confused as ego. So when you're just sort of backing yourself and just being who you want to be, you might get that sort of, as we were chatting, who do you think you are, what's he doing, like, you're not sort of doing what everyone else sort of does. So I think maybe a wee bit of ego to, I don't know if it's even ego or it's just sort of feeling that you can have more or do more or something like that, if that makes sense. So you don't have to just settle for whatever
100%.
you're expected to, if that makes sense. Don't know if maybe that's ego or that's just wanting to be better or wanting more. Do you know what I mean?
And I do know what you mean, because but I think that we all have to have some sort of a healthy ego.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm trying to get at in a roundabout way.
to do this.
Yeah.
So if we didn't have some sort of a healthy ego in terms of believing in ourselves or being confident, or even against all the chimp and the different things saying like you're not good enough, don't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing it, the imposter in me. But if I didn't have that sort of healthy ego of I want to do well and that confidence, so
yeah,
Mick talks about this perfectly. He's like, I have an ego, but I'm not cocky.
Yes.
So I'm confident and have an ego, but there's a cockiness, and there's a, sometimes it can be kind of icky when you see it in people because they're like too much.
Get you?
But I think it has to come from within.
100%. Yeah.
So if you have that wee burning desire within you to be like, I'm going to make things happen here, then fuck, you're going to make things happen.
Exactly. Go for it. Why not? Like, yeah.
It's interesting, that.
Big time. 100%.
But let's talk about a bit about football.
Yeah.
Because only this is mental, because obviously we have cousins and stuff in St. Galls, and obviously my role models and good people who helped me through my teenage years were the likes of Kieran McGordy and his dad and stuff, who were solid figures in my life. And I grew up like with my jaw on the ground watching them.
Yeah.
I was water boy in St. John's, the St. John's teams, because my dad was playing, and I was always like, oh my god, this is amazing. So I can't imagine how you grew up.
Aye.
And then have you won a championship?
No.
Sorry.
Just missed it.
So for St. Galls to be the most successful, I don't even know if you are the most successful club in Antrim. I think we're still the most successful club in Antrim, but we'll talk about that after. To do eight in a row, and you growing up watching them in Croke Park twice, all this year, and then was it kind of like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like an anticlimax of, did you think that you were going to have this amazing?
I think there was a bit of an expectation, because for as long as I can remember, St. Galls were winning from when I was growing up, like 2000 and, I was born in 99, like, so anything from 2000 and early 2000s onwards, like, St. Galls were winning everything, and it was like great. And then even my dad was in managing, and I was going down to trainings and seeing what was happening, and being like, sort of seeing them winning the championships, and I'm going, right, this is class, going on the buses down to the Ulster games and all, going, right, this is the done thing, this happens every year. And then you get in the inside and you're playing, and I think it was maybe in the 2 years before I started playing, we were beat both years, and then we got beaten I think I got beaten the 2 semi-finals or something like that anyway, but basically missed out by a year or two in terms of like what would have been my first championship. And then coming into that team, you're coming in them players and you're just going, this is unreal. But learning from them and just being around them and being told where to go, like, you nearly didn't have to think. I was just 18 coming into the team, it was like, oh, go there, take a ball, give it to him, do this, do that, and you're just going, right, this is class. Just like fast tracking the learning side of things, like, was unreal. But as you say, probably in the back of my head somewhere there was a wee bit of an expectation going, I have Eoghan's around me, it'll be like Eoghan's will sort of drive the thing on and sort of take control. But it's disappointing to not have a championship. Yeah.
I know, like, listen, and I can only imagine how, I know, but that doesn't define happiness or enjoyment and all that. I get all that 100%. But what was your early sort of, before we get into the county and all that crack, but what was that sort of like whenever, because I can only imagine that there's a lot of old school players within that team, and gyms and weights, and I actually remember Mccabe McGordy saying, like, he was doing well.
Can't kick a dumbbell or kick a medicine ball over the bar.
You can't kick a medicine ball over the bar. So different wee things like that, and I probably was more, Jesus, I'm going to listen to him.
Look how he's playing, look what he's doing on the pitch.
Do you know, and then so for you being after, you know, working from your 15 and no limits, I had this background of gyms and, you know, you had the body and you look good and all this, and you're going into that environment. what was there sort of a transition between gym work and
on the pitch, and as in people maybe saying stuff, or
no, not saying stuff, but I think that there was maybe a shift in and around that time in terms
Yes.
of clubs going and focusing on S&C.
get you.
So, whereas before that, it probably wasn't. So, obviously, you're a big advocate for that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you knew the science behind it, but
Aye.
a lot of people didn't.
That's there was. I'd say there was a handful, like out of that, from what I can remember, there was a handful that were sort of at it, and then there was a good few that maybe weren't, as you say, maybe just they got so far without it and didn't need it, and they were just brilliant footballers, and they were like fair enough. Like if we're all like that, it'd be great. But I suppose, as you say, then seeing the science behind it, like from a point of view of trying to reduce the risk of injuries and all that, and trying to be faster, more explosive, and all that sort of stuff, and I was all over it. Like, and my big thing was looking at top county players, looking at Aussie rules players because it was so close, and being like, right, what are they doing, and how can I sort of get to be that level? And that, like, the big clue for me was right in the gym, getting stronger and all that sort of crack. So, I suppose, I think it was probably more like a young. There were some of the older players still doing that, but they would never really tell you what they were doing, or I think they had their squad of them, like, and they were happy enough to stick to themselves. And then the younger players was kind of, I think the younger players did get into it, like, but in terms of, you know, some of them there probably never touched a dumbbell, and they're happy enough that they've never touched one, like, do you know what I mean? And I worked well for them, like, so.
Right. But you're right, I used to go into, whenever I was probably last year, minor, whenever I was pushing into the senior panels, like, and it was, you used to go down the Boucher Road and you used to see the likes of Sean Kelly and the boys, and you knew, like, that they were different gravy all day. Like, so there was a wee group of them who always Ty O'Neill, and I always just wanted to be like them. It's like it was
exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, whenever I come in the team, you're like looking at them and you're just going, right, what are they doing? What do I need to be doing? And just trying to take stuff from them. Like, even this day, I'm still texting them, being like, right here, what about this? What about this? Or can I get feedback on this sort of thing? So you're still always trying to take stuff from them, like, so, because they were operating at such a level for so long, like.
And what role models to have? No, that's class. And then, like, as we're progressing on, like, you're progressing on there as a footballer, and then at what point,
Cheers.
At what point did you be like, right, I'm going to make this the thing now. I'm going to publicise that this is what I do and this is who I am.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I want to talk about within this area of putting yourself out there on social media. Touched on the authenticity bit, but I want to get into it a wee bit more. Fear of judgment, but also an identity thing, because people then there's hardly a separation between, and I'm probably talking about me here, but I think it's only from the outside looking in, it kind of, Mccabe, what's the first thing that comes ahead my mind? Oh, whatever, coach or whatever he does. Looking after other people, getting other people the best possible shape that they can be in, and I just kind of feel like it's kind of the same that what we're doing, just helping people, and maybe Mangs is a wee bit more mentally taxing, but at the same time, has mine got in the way of me excelling on the pitch? Probably. But would I swap it? No, because I've been on a journey within myself of self-discovery and becoming the best version of me, and a lot of stuff that I need to sort it. So no regrets in terms of that way. Like, in terms of hurling or anything. Like, if someone had said to me 4.5 years ago that here's the deal, like, you're going to be no drink, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be helping people, you're going to be working for yourself, but you'll only play 20 minutes a week for Antrim Hurlers. 4.5 years ago, if someone said that, I would have went, give it you. So, but now I'm like getting to the point where it's like, okay, I've got some things sorted out of a good balance, of a good, let's have a go at this. I'm fucking 26, like, not 46. so it's like, right, let's have a go at it. But it's took me a long time on to be like, to lose this, Donald Nugent is this.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm just part
of it, or that's something that you do,
that's
rather
than
I
do. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm not fucking answering my phone again at 2 o'clock in the morning. People ringing, and I'm going and meeting them and putting them into the car and being like, "Oh, you're relapsed, right? Let's get you clean." It's it's not happening, because I need a. We always talk about filling up our own cup, so I went off on there. But we're talking about identity. We'll talk about that at the start in terms of being labelled as Eoghan Mccabe, the guy on Instagram who posts videos about becoming a better athlete.
Yeah.
How much does that affect you whenever you're then going into play at the highest level for Antrim?
Yeah.
Or do you even think about it?
Initially, I did think about it, and at the minute now, I think I'm grand with it. But
so let's talk about the journey.
It's been a journey, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm actually working with like a mental performance coach at the minute, and chatting through a lot of this stuff and about identity and as you were saying, sort of that thing of not being good enough and that sort of imposter shit, all that sort of stuff. Like, so I've been working through that. But even before that, like when I first started putting stuff up, I was just firing videos up of me training or whatever, just something that looked cool, trying to fucking do like box jumps in the gym or something and getting a video and sticking it up. And then I actually remember one time someone said something and I was going, fuck, I might go and delete that then. I went on and deleted it and I was going, right. So that was the first sort of thing I was going, right, people aren't sort of, you're going to get a bit of slag in this, you're going to get a bit, and it pisses me off this day that I actually went and deleted it. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, but at the time I was just going, all right, I don't want anyone getting comments like that, so I'll just play it safe, I'll just delete it. But then,
so why did you do it then?
Why did I put it out in the first place?
No, why did you go and delete it? So if you're asking yourself, I know you're saying you don't want to see them comments. So how did that make you feel?
It was almost embarrassment.
Right.
So I was putting that out, and you know, people are, look at him, fucking jumping about the gym or whatever. And I'm sitting going, right, hang on, don't like that. I'll fucking just not put anything out then. And then I started putting it out, and then I was like, right, I seeing what people. So again, it comes back to Dan promoting his business, putting stuff on social media. He's going to America every couple of months to learn from other business people, and the whole thing is right, social media marketing and all that there sort of stuff. So I was like, right, get in on this, start putting up videos of me training, different ideas, different thoughts that are coming through, coaching different clients. I was like, it's a marketing machine. I can grow my business this way, get the word of mouth out, or get the word out that I'm doing this, and eventually get people in and coach them. So, yeah, and actually putting stuff up, I was a bit apprehensive and a bit going, I don't know. And then even like I was flicking back the other week there and looking at the first couple of videos I put up, and you're sort of going, well, what's the crack? Everything all good, like. But now it's just like you just go and just do it, like you play the game, like. So yeah, at the start it was a challenge, and then going out onto the pitch, you were going, fuck, is this gonna, or not even going out onto the pitch, putting up something, you're gonna go, right, is someone gonna come to me on the pitch and start bringing up something that I've posted and having to go that way? But then whenever people do bring it up now, I enjoy it, and I was like, yes, that's right. They're going, you should be fast or whatever here, and I'm going, just having the crack or whatever, like.
But is that crack?
I know. I take it as crack.
Right, okay.
But I think people probably try to say it to maybe try and get under your skin or have something, but like, it's fucking, to me, it's a bit of crack, like. People will probably try and say it to get a dig in or whatever, but listen, it is what it is. Like, that's part, and you know, if you are putting yourself out there, you're gonna get them comments or remarks or whatever. But again, it's like, it goes back to being authentic. Is that, are you being you? Are you doing what you want to do? Then happy days. Like, I think the big thing for me is like ultimate like freedom. Like, what is that? And for me, like, it always comes back to just being 100% yourself, because then you're not being pushed into anything, you're not changing for anyone, you're just literally just being yourself, like. And if that means putting stuff out on Instagram or doing a podcast or whatever, then 100%, like, you're being authentic, as you say. So I sometimes, as long as you're, for me, the whole thing was, right, don't try to act to be someone that you're not. It was like, when you're putting something out, if it's you, it's valuable, it's getting information, it's helping people, then go for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, and you're not, and that's a really good point, even for anyone who is going and stepping into that world. And it's like, let's be honest here, right? So there's probably a narrative out there of this sort of, I'm looking for 5 guys in the West Belfast area. If you want to change your life, I'm your man. And I'm like, so are you going to change his life? Like, I've never met anyone who's changed anyone's life.
Yeah.
Like, and the work that I do, it's like, you need to change your own life, mate. Do you know? And you, like, so there is an art of their own of people who do. I was listening to Joe Bradley podcast, and he sort of, I like Joe, but he was talking about life coaches,
right?
And he painted everyone with the same brush, and I wasn't really that happy.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm doing right now is painting you all
Yeah.
for the purpose of this
Yeah.
with the same brush
Yeah.
and being like, it's nonsense. You're all right, putting you all in this bracket of it's you're trying to make money, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. But after what you just said there, and it's like, right, if I'm being myself, if I'm being true to myself, if I'm being authentic, then you don't need to worry about anything else. Because you're not walking down the road going, oh Jesus, I shouldn't have said that, or oh Jesus, I actually don't speak in this accent in real life. I speak in a different accent. Do you know, all this madness that does come with the world of social media. But if you're going then back and true to yourself, then I have a quote, let's face it, it's actual quote, is if you are your authentic self, then you have no competition.
Yeah, 100%. Big time.
So how am I competing against? I'm competing against who I was yesterday.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
And who am I trying to be? The best version of me. Yeah. I'm not trying to be like you. I'm never going to be as good looking as you. But do you know what I mean? So what's the point?
No.
So
it's, I think that makes sense. And at the minute, I think with especially coaching, it's so competitive at the minute. There's so many people doing it. There's so many people. Everyone's popping up and being a coach, or everyone's posting videos and everyone's posting the same sort of content. So it's like a lot of people copy what's working well because, you know, it's working well for a reason. But then it's like, if it's not you, it's not you. Like, do something that suits you. Don't try to go and be something that's just because it's popular or it's just a new thing. And then, you know, you're jumping from trend to trend. Like, if you can stick, like, the easiest thing to do is literally, the easiest thing but the hardest thing to do is probably be yourself. So, like, it's the most natural thing to do, but it's probably the hardest thing to put yourself out there, because then, you know, if you do get a comment, then it's going right there attacking me or whatever. But then it's like, you know, some people, you're not going to get on with everyone, like, are you? Like, so I mean,
100%. Not here to make friends.
Exactly.
So true. It is true. Like, if you're putting your happiness in the reaction of an Instagram post, then you're not doing the work.
I remember I would have held back on posting stuff or thinking of others' opinions holding me back. But then I'm thinking, like, right, who the people that were sort of coming to mind when I was like, I don't even talk to these people. Like, why am I worrying about what they would think or what they would say? Or for me, it comes back to that sort of acceptance and wanting to be like, get on with everyone and almost be everyone's mate. And like, you're not going to be everyone's mate. Like, so like if you're being yourself and someone doesn't like you, if you're sweet, happy days, like, do you know what I mean? Fine, we'll not be like, we're never going to be mates then. Like, I've plenty of people who like me for who I am, so like, I'll be mates with everyone's like, and I'll probably meet more people who, when you be yourself and they're being themselves, you'll connect with them. So I think that's a part of the journey that I've been on. It's just like, right, if you're yourself and people get on with you, great. If they don't, then great.
No, but 100%. Me and Sean were talking about this yesterday as well. With what was it again?
Like your tribe.
Oh, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's right. And it was like, we done a 4 year, because I was 4 years in recovery, and it was like of recovery. I don't really like using recovery anymore. I like using 4 years of self discovery. Nice. I like using it that way, but anyway. Nice. Yeah, but we were talking about your vibe attracting your tribe, but I lit on, and it was so difficult, but and we talked about it in last week's podcast about having this triangle, right? And it's like your purpose in life is at the top of the triangle, your values and who you are as a person, and then what you do every day. Yeah. So if they're all in alignment, then you kind of feel like you're in a flow state. Mm-hmm. But if I'm then going away from doing, like, from my values and my purpose and doing something else every day, then I just don't feel like my cup's getting filled up, or just feel on edge, or just don't feel right.
Resistance or something.
100%. It just feel like I'm odd.
Yeah.
But if they're all in alignment, then it's boom, go ahead. But what you're saying there, even with people, I probably, and you probably noticed it, I don't know, the amount of people who I used to be friends with or associates with are no longer my friends or associates, because what I do with them, they're drinking, do drugs with them, let's be honest. Do you know, did they facilitate my addiction? Yes. Did I facilitate their madness? Yes. Was it amazing at the time? Sometimes? Yes. Do I have any regrets? No, I don't, because it's like all these things happen for a reason. But we get to a point where it's like, I made the decision, and I know you've done this, to like be like, right, what is best for my life, and cut people out of my life. And it's been so hard and difficult, but and sitting probably most weekends going, Jesus, I wish, or Christmases, or just whatever, and being like, I wish I had have done something different.
Yeah.
But knowing in my heart of hearts that I've done the right thing. And it's like, I know and always knew that there's going to be a time where I'm going to have a really good network of people. If what you're saying there, if I keep believing and doing what I'm doing, because I'm being authentic.
That's it.
So now, yesterday we were sitting here and I was going, I've never felt so lucky. I've never felt in such a good position because of like really good friends, a good network of people, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Because it's stuck to what I believed in, and it's basically what you're just after saying there to me. Like, and I think that's like, we don't say it enough to each other, but I think that's fucking amazing what you've done at a young age, and I am proud of you for doing that, because a lot of people, we do live in a world where we're just following everything, and then we're like, is this actually making me happy? Before we know it, I'm being a bit much the other day, but we're dead, like, you know what I mean?
No,
so it's blazing your own trail, and your vibe attracts your trade. That's our takeaways today. But see, you mentioned there you went to see a mental performance coach. Are you still seeing him?
Still working with him.
So what does that look like?
So initially it was like very like almost like therapy at the start.
Yeah.
So it was like, right, going into the past, right, what sort of thing? Well, what sort of challenges are you facing first? What sort of holding you back? So I'm coming at it from a coaching and a business perspective, and they're doing a lot of work mentally, the limiting beliefs, getting rid of all that stuff, so that you can then spring forward, break through plateaus, and obviously grow the business and have sort of the ability and the skill to handle that. Like, so for me it was like, right, almost not fully committing, sort of holding back a wee bit, playing it safe, kind of almost like self-sabotage at times, get a wee bit of success, and then just go fuck it all up, go and just come back down and just go and then it was like, right, so why am I doing this, and sort of chatting about that, and almost like a fear of like fully committing, fully putting myself out there, and almost like going like all in on it. And then it was like, again, comes back to that idea of like acceptance, going against the grain, wanting to be just sort of mates with everyone, wanting the people please and all that there sort of crack. So it starts off like that, going through like the background stuff, and then it's like great, kind of coming through solutions, let you just breaking all them sort of limiting beliefs that you have. And then now it's more like, right, how can we sort of start peaking? How do we get over that? Put things in place to allow you to sort of start essentially growing and climbing the ladder, if that makes sense. So it's more around, maybe having certain structures in place, like looking at when you're at your best. You said flow, like how can you try and head flow as much as possible? So, you know, for me, it's like, right, sleeping well, training well, eating well, having things planned, having like structure, having routines, and trying to sort of stick to it as much as possible, but then also having enough room for variety and sort of being spontaneous and having, what's the word? I suppose variety is probably the word. So that I'm not getting so just day to day, one thing and then I'm mundane, monotonous, and it's probably one thing we were chatting about with football and hurling. Like, it's almost, you were saying, trying to be up here all the time and trying so much energy and just being so serious all the time. Like, you need a break and you need to like change things up. Like, I remember one thing, like, I suppose like the self-awareness and stuff that comes with it, like at Christmas last year, I had like pushed so much for training, pushed the coaching side of things. I got to Christmas, I was just like, I need a fucking break here. And then it took me maybe 2 weeks into January to sort of try and get back up to sort of feeling normal again. So it's like, right now, getting the Christmas time, it's like, right, know that you need probably a strategic break in here, change things up, maybe change the environment, take a wee bit of a bit of downtime, rather than just trying to go all the time. So I suppose it's going back for the past, seeing what's maybe holding you back, trying to get over that, and then seeing how you can sort of continue to improve and grow.
More of a progressive role to life, and I think that we haven't officially launched it, but I've been coaching people and mentoring people for a while, like since I got my qualifications, but I haven't really put it out there that much. But we're launching it here in the next week, probably. There's a space for it, isn't there?
100%. Big time.
And there's I have a coach. I have a coach and a mentor. And a therapist. And I just think that no matter, back to what was said at the start, no matter how much you think you've made it or think you're fucking doing well, then that's the time you need to think you need to do more work. So
Yeah.
I just think we're launching our new coaching and mentoring program in the next week, and we're going to do this but only in a group setting.
Yeah.
So there's going to be like 10 to 12 people in the group each week, and we're going to sit in a circle and talk about where we're at and trying to create that authenticity and vulnerability within the group. And let's move it on then to, because I'm involved with a wee camogie team, not a wee camogie team, but a camogie team in Down at the minute, and we're doing bits and pieces of stuff like that, and I'm really, really enjoying it because they're really stepping into them being themselves. So they're showing up as Eoghan Mccabe, and they're showing up as Donal Nugent and Eamon Boyle or whatever. They're not showing up as what I want Donal Nugent or what I want Eoghan Mccabe to look like, or what I think he should look like. Yeah. So we're actually bringing 30 personalities together. Yeah. Not one club personality. 100%. And what can that bring then to a group? Yeah. You said you like the Aussie rules. I kind of got that from the Aussie rules. Yeah. Creating them sort of, and all the mad podcasts that I listen to. I should have asked you at the start. And this would have been your dream come true. Yeah. What is your definition of high performance? High performance. And you could have closed your eyes and pretend you were talking to what do you call it? Humphrey instead. So we're that's what we're doing in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to sit down and launch that and do it properly. Because there's a massive space for it, especially within sports and life and personal development. But let's talk about then bringing all this, what we spoke about, the S&C stuff, the lifestyle, the personal development, the coaching, the mindset stuff, being authentic, maybe being vulnerable, being true to yourself, having good relationships, connections, making hard choices, all the things that we've sort of spoke about there the last 45 minutes. Bring that into Antrim football. Yeah. How are you thinking that? And I'm like, I love football. Like, you know, like I'm probably, just because I'm playing with Antrim hurlers, like just people think like I like football more than hurling. Yeah. Like I love football, love playing football. Just think there's so much more to it than what you actually see. I just love football, and so I follow you. I go to all your matches as much as I can, obviously, because sometimes we be away too. So I've been following you and your county football journey since you've been on the panel, basically. And how are you finding it? Because for me, looking at you, every year seems to be like, right, he's going there. And I've seen you getting put back in the cornerback, and I went, what the fuck's that about? And now you realise the cornerback's it's not a cornerback nowadays. And how are you finding it all?
Overall, I'm enjoying it, but don't get me wrong, there's times where you're going like, why am I doing this, or what's the point? Like, we were saying that there's times when, you know, you're in the middle of summer, you're playing the big games, like, oh, this is unreal, this is class, and then it's like you're in the fucking shit of winter, in November, and snowing, you're going, what's the point? So like, we were sort of chatting with S&C coaches and stuff about getting sort of get a bit of structure. Like, I just love having structure, and I had a couple of weeks there I was just doing bits and pieces, but it was like, I need to be working towards something, and I was trying to get a plan in place and structure in place, and the more I'm sort of doing it, I'm going, I'm not ready to go back yet. Yeah. But no, I love the challenge.
Working towards getting sub 4 minutes in this 1.2.
Exactly. I think he wants us sub 350 now, so it's like, right, sub 350, it's dropping.
I'm sub 4, like, and I'm like, nah.
I know.
Nightmares about it.
Big time. So I wrote that down the other day. It was like, targets here. It's like 1.2k, sub 4, and I was going, fuck, Andy says 350. I was going sub. So, but no, loving it. Like, love the challenge. Like, obviously, when I was playing, I always wanted to try and play at the highest level, like, and compete at the highest level. And we're saying about it's always trying to go from step to step to step. And even when I'm coaching people, my clients, like, I'm talking about almost like compound interest and compound effect. Like, every year you should be getting a wee bit better and a wee bit better and a wee bit better. And it's not a case of you do the work, you play, you do the work again, get back to the same level. It's like every year you're trying to add a new level and trying to evolve, basically, as a player and as an athlete. So I'm enjoying that challenge and seeing how I can contribute more, be more of a key player and add a bit more each year, rather than just, you know, when you first come into the panel, your whole thing is, right, I think the first time I did go in, I was kind of just happy to be there and didn't really take it as serious. And then I took 2 years out, and then whenever I come back in, I was like, right, I realised that's where I actually wanted to be rather than I had to be there, sort of thing. And then you're looking to break into the team. Can I be a starter? Right, okay, can I be a consistent starter? Then when you're a consistent starter, it's like, can I be a consistent key performer or high performer? Most games you want to be having like if you're to mark yourself out of 10, you want to be having 7, 8 out of 10 as consistently as possible. And that's always a challenge. It's always an ongoing challenge. Like, so enjoying that challenge, enjoying the training, but then again, you're like, it does get very serious at times as well, and you want to maybe relax a wee bit, but then you enjoy the professionalism of it as well, and enjoy how serious it is. But then, there's times that you do be like, I could switch off here for a bit and and get away from it all too. Like, so,
it's a double-edged sword sometimes. Like, it's just like, I suppose, watching your journey and seeing you be so consistent and having them thoughts in your mind is. I even be like, that's amazing, because normally my thoughts follow with my actions. So if I had them thoughts, then sometimes I'm like, you can see it in me. Like, I can't. I'm just like, so that's something that I'm working on in terms of and be more process orientated rather than feelings
in the moment. They're
spontaneous,
reactive,
But no, this is where you're going and trajectory, and it's all not this big mad rush of fucking losing a stone in a week like a madman. It's just like, right, just build and just try and
away at it.
Eat the elephant in chunks. And it's like, that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. But you're right, having that time to switch off, and I notice fucking see every night now, you go for your wee down there every night, and I'm going to imagine that yourself and Paul that's your way of switching off too, and using it that is maybe out in the fresh air and filling up your own cup, as we talk about in this podcast. And any other wee things you do? We
one thing I want to do more of is travel, but then it's like your schedule and you're from, like, one thing last year, my big last, and I said there coming up to Christmas, I completely sort of burnt out the stage. But like, big thing there was like, right, can't be missing any training. And I was like, it was October to January, you had no games. Until the start of January, you had your first game, and you're going, right, even you're training on your own, no, I can't do anything because I need to be this fit, I need to be hitting this weight or this. Like, it's just so, and you're going, right, it's going to be a long year. Like, if you want to get away on a holiday or something, go and take a wee break. So that's one thing. But aside from that, just, there are times where I would maybe say, right, I'll go out on the night out because I need to enjoy myself. I need to have, but then again, I've probably done that too often, and then it negatively impacted performance. So now it's about, for me, right, how can I have a good standard performance, be all in with the coaching side of things, but then also have downtime out elsewhere. So it's like, right, switching off, having my weekends off, like maybe not doing any work after a certain time. I suppose getting away, going for day trips, just like, even in terms of watching football and stuff, I've actually not been watching football as much when it's on in the middle of the season, because it's like, maybe I was all day training for a couple of hours on Saturday. Sunday's my only day. Me and Paul will probably get to yourselves, so it's like, I'm not sitting. Maybe I'll get back and watch a bit later on in the afternoon. But it's like, I'm not sitting all day watching 3 games back to back, and the whole weekend's gone. I'm going, right, let's get out, let's have a life, let's fucking be spontaneous and do things. Like, so I think probably taking it serious, but then also understanding that it's not the be all and end all, and you're doing it because you want to do it, rather than this is life or death here, as it can seem sometimes. But I think having perspective on it too is a big thing. Like,
perspective's massive.
Big time.
We use that as a title, perspective.
No,
but I enjoyed that wee chat. Grab a wee coffee soon too, and go and do it a wee bit more. Really enjoyed that. If I want to work with you, where do I find you?
Probably Instagram's the best one. Mccabe 11. Mccabe 11
on Instagram, and then all goes from there. But we'll tag you and all the stuff and all that crack anyway. And I would recommend going and following on and watching some of the stuff, especially if you're an athlete or want to be an athlete like me. And some of the tips, and as I say there, you can see his authenticity and him being himself from a mile away. You can, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. So you wouldn't have made it the hot seat. So no, thanks very much, mate. I really appreciate it. Good chats and good luck with everything going forward, and especially with Antrim footballers. We're all cheering for you, especially me and Amo. We're at all the games, up the safts, and I know one just touched there on him going to see a mentor and a coach and stuff like that. So if anyone wants to work with me on a one-to-one basis or join our group sessions, do drop us an email to contact let's face it.info. We'll be putting out more stuff across social media in the next couple of weeks, but it's all going in the background. There's people working away, so contact let's face it.info and you will get us there, and we'll organise a wee call or whatever. So thanks very much. See you all soon.